Good morning and happy Sunday, everyone. I just thought I would give you a little idea. This is where I left off on our last video on this mountain range. But I thought what I would do is tell you about what I do once I've painted like a sky or a background or a set of mountains to decide how to continue this and actually make it a full painting. So a lot of people have different ways or different methods that they use to make or to capture or to get ideas to paint. Some people will go through photography and draw up like a sketch or sketch directly on the artwork in pencil. But what I do is, because I do both digital and traditional art, what I do is I actually take a photograph, like I'm taking a video of my work now, where it is at this point. I take a photograph and I bring it into my computer or my digital art workstation. It's a computer that I have specifically set up strictly for doing art and composition digitally. So I took that and I made a photograph of this scene that I have here on this video, and I brought it into my computer, into my digital art workstation, and I went ahead and made myself a reference. See? I added clouds, and I decided to go ahead with and continue this on because it looked like snowy mountains with a snow scene. So I have like a snow bank here with pine trees on the left and a little bit of shadowing by the pine trees. I'll probably change the angle of that. I didn't go to the trouble to properly light it or shadow it. And then I continued on here, and I've got like snow-covered tundra or snow-covered vegetation here. And that's what I'm going to do. The thing about composition is you want to make a composition that invites the viewer into the scene, that makes the viewer feel like, well, I could step into this place, or I would like to go walking around here. So you notice that I have it open here. So it's not a path per se, but in a way it is, because it's open and it makes it look like you can walk into this space and continue on into the midground where the mountains are. So it invites the viewer, and that's one thing about composition that's very important. You want to make the viewer feel like they're welcome at this place, that they can envision themselves being there. Anyway, so I will go ahead and I will continue painting this using this reference. And if you notice, I've got some sunlight up here. I put like a sun, like the sun is just above this mountain where it's very bright. Oh, great. It seems to have brightened up on my screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to emphasize that golden light a little bit in the background here. And I think it's so important to emphasize light in your painting. Some people that paint don't think about light, and that's one of the most important elements that you can include in your painting, is thinking about the direction of light. Light and shadows have such an impact on you and your viewer. So anyway, I will do that, and the method that I use sometimes is I'll take a print, or if it's on a canvas, I'll even make a bigger print, because I have software that can use multiple sheets of paper to make a larger, almost poster size print. And you can use something like carbon paper, like this, to trace, which is kind of what I did. I hand drew where I'm going to put the sun here. So that's where the sun's going to be, so I know the placement of the sun. And I could have sketched some clouds in, but I'll just go by the reference. And I've already kind of basically sketched lightly with a pencil where the tundra, snow-covered tundra is going to go. In the trees, again, I'll just use my reference to get a judgment for the trees. But anyway, I hope that helps you. I find this method of going to my computer and creating my composition, finishing it, to be the best method, because if you're using pencils and pens and you're using them on your original work, and you're constantly erasing and trying to change things, it could become a mess. what most artists will do is they'll put a fixative on their artwork so they don't actually affect the paint. They're not actually drawing directly on the paint. So, and a fixative is just it usually comes in a spray can, and you spray it on the artwork and it protects it, so if you decide to make changes that you don't like, you can change it. So that's one method. But when I do it digitally, then I know exactly what I'm going to do. I don't have to sketch and erase, or try to come up with a composition. I can look at reference photos right on my computer because I have a ton of reference material and free stock images that I can draw from to get ideas of how I'm going to finish a work. So if you're having problems and you're stuck in your artwork, like you've painted a background, or you've painted a sky, or you've painted some mountains, and you don't know how you want to finish it, take a photograph like I did and bring it into your computer. It's the fastest and easiest way to I can't consider myself a serious Silicon Valley based artist if I didn't have some knowledge of the computer. I think the computer or the digital art ability is like a paramount thing in my studio. It's one of my main tools that I use to come up with ideas and creations. So thank you for watching, and you have a wonderful Sunday. We'll continue this painting, and I will paint what I've got here as a reference onto my original painting. So thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.